Sounds on, cameras on. We are ready to go. Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I am him. I'm that guy. I'm really trying to figure out exactly what we're doing. I'm just running around making ice. Kyle's staring at the screen as he's doing this. Go! Purple, way behind, way behind. Is it on? It is black number one. Let's do it down. Gently. Boy, that's good. Well, fight on, everybody. Listen, I don't often skip and jump around my house. I have not had a lot of reason to. Recently. My very favorite sports team, and I am not the sportiest of gentlemen. Just look at my physique. I'm not a sporty sportster. I like my sports. I like the sports teams that I like. My favorite sports team is the USC football Trojans. And that is a great question. Are these Oklahoma or USC colors? I tried to find something in between because I do feel bad for Oklahoma. For those of you who don't know, USC has had the nicest coach in the world for many, many years. 7 years. His name's Clay. I'm not even going to give him a last name. Just let's call him Clay. And unfortunately, Clay, ironically, was unable to mold this USC Trojans team into anything good. However, USC recently got, in my opinion, the best coach that you can. So, look, my Trojans are back, my smile is back, I am skipping and dancing and jumping, and I brought out a trombone. I can't play a trombone, but I've been trying to play the fight song around the house. It's killing my wife. Kyle loves it. So, what am I gonna do? So today, I'm taking an absolute classic. Now, this is a very simple absolute classic. When we get into absolute classics, we can sometimes get real simple. Rich can't get past my shirt. I agree, dude. This is stepping out on a limb for me. I do not wear colors. But this is Cardinal. I don't have anything gold. I don't have a USC shirt. I don't. Good point. Possible if Kyle likes it. Sometimes when we start to make classics, we find that classics are very simple, very simplistic. These used to be revolutionary. It's like learning, you're reading through an old book on Poe, an old Edgar Allan Poe book, and you're like, oh God, I've heard this story 1,000 times. Edgar, write an original story, dude, and then you realize Edgar actually created it. Edgar created the detective genre. You're like, oh, well, dang. Okay, Edgar, my bad. Go marry your cousin, it's fine. Die in a Baltimore bar, I don't care. What is that, opium in your system? Okay, fine. So really what we're making today, we are going to be making this is called the Lincoln Club Cooler, sort of like calling a vodka and cranberry a Cape Cod, sort of like calling a rum and Coke a Cuba Libre. This is going to be a rum and ginger. I'm going to read you the description in how, sorry, one second. Yeah, my dad has several USC shirts, very expensive. I have black shirts, and that's what I have. This is what I have. I'm going to read you the description by a man named George J. Kappeler from his book, Modern American Drinks. This is how you make this drink. And this, at the time, whoa. Rum? Ginger? Never heard of it. I don't like it. It's too crazy for me. Take a long, thin Collins glass. Look at that. Take a long, thin Collins glass. Put into it 1 lump of ice, 1 pony of, he says, St. Croix rum. Pretty cool. Fill with a cold bottle imported ginger ale and serve. I am not going to, on the internet, where things stay for a while, unless I put them on private, I'm not just going to make you a ginger and rum, or rum and ginger. I'm just not going to do it. We're going to make this Lincoln Club Cooler from more real ingredients. So let's begin, shall we? We're going to be making this one in glass. As long as you have not cracked your glass. Have I cracked my glass? Have not. Yet. Give me a minute. And we're going to reach back here. Now, it calls for a St. Croix rum. And when I start doing research into my different rums, I find really quickly that when people say St. Croix rum, they're often talking about a rum with a little bit of spice and a little bit of age. Enter Montgay. A little bit of spice and a little bit of age. He does not call for a brand. He does not call for a specific type of St. Croix rum. So really anything that you're going to put in here is going to be pretty good. Cool? We're going to put that in next though. Even though it gives us the order we're going to be putting in, we're going to be putting it in a different order. We're going to start with the ice. Now, ice technology has come a long way since then. He says it calls for 1 cube of ice. Please. This is the future, sir. George, this is the future. We're putting in 2 lumps of ice. Because we can afford it. Fight on. Okay, next we're gonna be putting in some ginger ale. Now, you can, of course, grab just a can of ginger ale, get a nice one, something like Fever Tree, if that's what you're working with. That's great. No thanks for me. That's a no for me, dog. I instead am going to be reaching into Dr. Cush's homemade ginger. If you don't know how to make Dr. Cush's homemade ginger, you probably haven't been paying attention. Down there in the description, I have put a link to back when the bar was in its infant stages. I cannot guarantee any quality in that video, but the recipe is there for how I make my ginger. I believe that I have the best and easiest ginger, homemade ginger syrup that anybody's ever made. So, if you're following along and you want to have some ginger at your house, that's a good way to do it. This is what it looks like. Looks kind of gold for the Trojans, because they're going to be good now. We're going to be putting in 1.5 ounces of this stuff. So go ahead and throw in 1.5 ounces of Dr. Cush's exotic homemade ginger. Right there. Easy peasy. Now this stuff is strong. As the Spanish say, ten cuidado, mis brotheritos and sisteritos. Ten cuidado. We are going to be putting in some soda water. Pellegrins. Dumbest thing in the world, putting those things on it, but listen, what are we doing? This is what we're gonna do. Now, this works with almost every type of Collins glass you have, right? This is a little bartending trick when we used to make, when I used to make dark and stormies all the time. Dark and stormy, really just a more gingery version of this cocktail. We're gonna take the soda water, and once this is already in here and the ice is in here, we're gonna pour this as fast as we can. The bubbles will come to the top, which should leave us right around the exact amount of space that we'll need for this rum. Let's try this. And pull back. Right there. Now, that's a touch too much. Whatever. It should be close. Now we gotta put in our rum. We're gonna float our rum right here on top. Now, of course, this rum will not stay here on top because it's just soda water that it is upon. We're putting in 1.5 to 2 ounces of rum of a darker variety, something, like I said, a little spiced or a little aged, better if both. Look at that. Look at that beaut. I guess it did float there on top a little bit. I think it's rude, just in my professional opinion, to serve a cocktail like a rum and ginger without giving it just a touch more of the spice. I'm going to be putting in 3 dashes of some Peychauds right here on top. There we go. So we get this nice floating effect. This is not what old George was looking for when he created this cocktail. He did not realize that we had the technology. That's not true. He knew we had the technology to get 1, 2, and 3, and 4 layers in here. But he didn't do it, so. Come on, George. We're gonna take this little guy. This is a spoon. Throw this in here. Give this just a little spin. That ginger wants to stay at the bottom. That rum wants to stay at the top, so you're gonna really have to swizzle this home. Is this interesting to anybody? And there we have it. I wouldn't serve it with the spoon. Unless I'm in my own house, I wouldn't serve it with a spoon. Turns out I am in my own house, but if I was at some sort of bar situation, it's a good way to lose a spoon. So instead, I'm gonna give it a straw. Right down there to the bottom. And that is that. I wanna congratulate Mike Bone, who I did call Mike Bonehead. I called him Mike Boner a few times this year. Mike, I'm gonna kick you right in your bone. I've called him a lot of things this year, but he did come through for us. Mike Bone, Carol Folt, the president of USC, and all those USC boys, and all of the decommits from OU. Sorry, guys. Oh, that is good. That's what we're looking for. Super important, guys, that you do put a little bit of that bitters in there. Really sort of brings the whole thing together. Let's see what everybody's saying. See if anybody is so upset. Yo. Yeah. There you go. You'll find. Oh, that's nice. They'll find you me a black USC shirt. Fight on. Rum and ginger, aka dark and stormy. Now that is a good point. Doug G, but it's not a correct point. Can that be right? Dark and Stormy was created by the Gosling brothers, so Dark and Stormy technically has to be made with Gosling's rum, and it has to be made with ginger beer, and usually some lime. Oh, come on, do rum and ginger. I can do that. Yeah, there we go, rum and ginger. Technically, again, I should have been catching these earlier. Definitely not Dark and Stormies, but I was a fan of ginger on Gilligan's Island, says Paul. I think we all were. I think that was the point. I once got ginger and fancy tonic for Christmas. I know. I made you that. Alas, no more. It's gone. Let's see who's fighting on. Oh, Megan. Fight on. I went to school with Megan. Her husband and I went to school with her husband as well. And I'm not gonna say his name out loud. We once scaled the side of a three-story building. We scaled down together. That was wild. I'm sad to see the layers disappear. Yeah, the layers are tough when they disappear, but you really can't drink without the layer or with the layers. Let's see. Dartmouth won the Ivy League championship. All right. Well, we'll make a green drink next week for the old Indians, the big green. All right, guys. That is that. Fight on to all my Trojans. I want to invite all non-Trojans to join us now. Now's a great time. Now's a great time to come revel in the fact that the Pac-12 is back, baby. Lincoln emancipates the Pink 12, the Pink 12, Big 12. What? Pac-12. Pink and big? Eh. That's that. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. That is that. I will be back here tomorrow for Tiki Tuesday. I will be back here the next day for the most controversial show. Pink 12. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. I will be back here for the most controversial cocktail show in the history of cocktail shows. It is called Drinker or Stinker. I will be here for that. That's Wednesday. I'll be here on Thursday. I will not be here Saturday. I know we were all looking forward to seeing Paul. We will see Paul soon, but I had to pick up a gig. Listen, I got to make some money doing this. Otherwise, it's just a boy and his dog and his dream of never working again. It's a good dream, just a tough dream to sustain. Friday, I don't know what we're doing, but I believe the idea is tune in early on Friday. We may have a surprise for you. With me and Tammy on youtube.com/mixedcocktailhour. I am going to leave you with one of these. SOUTHERNCALIFORNIA, Southern California! Yay! Okay, guys. I'm going to say to UCLA next year.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Sorry, bye-bye. You had your year. Enjoy it. Take the Liberty Bell.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.